Welcome back. You're still watching NetBank Business Watch. It's only 10 minutes before 3 o'clock on this last segment. Let's take a look at today's financial markets with Nozi Busiso Tembe from NetBank. She's a treasury dealer there. Very good afternoon, Nozi. Welcome back. It's been quite a while.
Afternoon, Lulu.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
All
Afternoon
right.
to all your viewers too.
Yeah, all right. Let's take a look at international markets today. Perhaps we can start with currencies. We take a look at the US. What is happening in USA? You know, President Trump is causing a lot of havoc for quite a few countries. What's happening?
Yeah, no, it's been an uncertain couple of days ever since Donald Trump went into office on the 20th of January. There's been a lot that's been happening. In South Africa, I think it was evident for the first time last week after Donald Trump cut funding from US aid going to South Africa. And this was in retaliation to President Cyril Ramaphosa signing a land expropriation bill amendment. So there was a bit of shock from their side with relation to that. And what we're also now worried about, or what they are worried about, is what then happens to the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. Is there a chance that that won't be renewed this year? So there's concerns around that in South Africa as well. This week, Donald Trump also then imposed tariffs on South Africa, 25% tariffs, no exceptions, no exemptions on their steel and aluminium imports. So that's also now causing a lot of apprehension in the market. No one is quite certain about what that looks like, especially for economic growth in South Africa. So in 2024, South Africa had slow economic growth, but also increased expenses.
Yeah.
So if there's now a hindrance to the economic growth, then they possibly may be in a deficit, which is not a place they want to be in. So it's been quite tricky for South Africa in the past couple of days. And I think everything is just uncertain right now. It's been less than a month since President Donald Trump went into office, but there's been some changes.
We're definitely feeling it.
We're feeling it.
So how are currencies today? What's the reaction today?
So currently, the US dollar against the SZL is trading at 18.4450. The euro against the SZL is trading at 19.1276, and the pound against the SZL is trading at 22.9581. Another interesting thing that happened yesterday was that the US Fed chair had a meeting with Congress yesterday. And the market was keen to see what the outcomes of that meeting would be, because we're looking for cues on what might happen with interest rates in the year. So there's two key things that Jerome Powell mentioned yesterday, which is that the Fed is not in a hurry to cut interest rates in the US, and that they would only cut interest rates if inflation eases or if the job market weakens. So that was good. That was good insight for the market to receive, especially because we know that in South Africa, they normally follow or get cues from what the US is doing. And in Swaziland, we also get cues. So it's very important that we understand what the US has in mind around interest rates.
Okay. So what else can we look out for today? Inflation numbers, have they been released?
Yes, so we're expecting US inflation numbers today. I don't think they've been released yet, but sometime this afternoon, they'll be released. Again, because yesterday, Jerome Powell said they are looking to decrease interest rates if inflation eases. So we're all keen to see then what the inflation numbers look like so that we can see what might happen with interest rates.
All right, so moving on to commodities today. Gold decreased, oil is steady. Explain what that means.
Okay, so commodities, gold is currently trading at $2,807.06 per ounce, and we have Brent crude trading at $77.69 per barrel. On the side of gold fell for the second day in a row after increasing quite a bit over time. This fall was due to the meeting or the cues that the market got from Jerome Powell's speech yesterday with Congress. And it's interesting to see this because gold has been on the rise for some time, primarily due to economic uncertainty, geopolitical tensions, and strong demand. So we've been seeing it actually reached an all-time high. So we're seeing then the price of gold start to ease after that meeting yesterday. On the side of oil, oil has been relatively steady. mainly due to the US announcing increased stockpiles of crude oil yesterday. So it steadied the oil price quite a bit. But the market is keen on seeing what the impact on of the trade wars between the US and China will be on the price of oil. So there is apprehension still in the market around that.
Okay, so lastly, let's take a look at equities. How are they reacting today?
So on the equity side, we track three different equities, three different indices as on the show, which is the S&P 500, the FTSE, and the JSE All Share Index. And relatively, you can see that they've also held quite steady. You can see marginal growth from each of them, but generally, they've been steady since Jerome Powell's comments in Congress yesterday. What might be interesting, though, is that the Alibaba stocks have increased by 8.6% yesterday. And this is due to an announcement that was made that Alibaba and Apple will be collaborating to bring in some AI-featured products into China. So that's an interesting observation to see, and I think Alibaba really is gaining some traction because of that.
Thank you, Nozi, for that analysis. That was Treasury Dealer at Nedbank Eswatini, Nozi Busiswa, just giving us an insight on today's financial markets. To stay with us, we go for an ad break and we wrap up the show after the break.